Okie dokie. Today we are looking at forms, the single most important part of your Keela setup. If you complete any of the steps in this guide, this is the one that you should be completing. And it's so important because it ensures that all of the new information coming into your account, whether it's new donors, new members, or new newsletter subscribers or volunteers, all of that is transferred over to Keela and automatically starts processing in the background. When folks fill out your Keela forms, they'll be added as a contact to your account. And it's really important to do this now because when it comes time for you to transfer all of your historical data into Keela, you want to make sure that it's frozen in time, that you've already cut off that process, whatever it was, whether it was a different system collecting information or you are entering new information into spreadsheets. You want to make sure that you've transitioned fully to Keela through Keela Forms before you start touching data. Access the Forms section over here in the sidebar, and you can just create a form directly from here. And there are a couple of different types of forms that you can set up. If you're planning on setting up a donation, revenue, or membership form, just make sure that you've already connected your payment processor. But you should have done that in one of our previous getting started steps. So you should be all good for that. There are a couple of different types. Like I said, we've got donations and revenue. So donation is a form that can accept a donation payment online. So really good to replace your current method of receiving online donations with this one. And you can use it to collect names and email addresses, payments, and also automatically issue receipts. Revenue forms are exactly the same, except they're for any non-donation payments. So if you've got ways that people can purchase stuff through your organization, but they aren't eligible for donation receipts, then a revenue form is the way to go here. A membership form lets you give out membership subscriptions on your website that folks can choose from and they can subscribe to it. A subscription form, and notice that error disappeared because you don't need a payment processor for a subscription form. It's just a way for folks to opt into your newsletter. So folks who fill this form in will automatically be added to your Keela account and their email subscription status will be set to opt in. And lastly, there's just a custom form. So this covers any really other scenario. It lets you have questions, it lets you ask your contacts bits and pieces of information, and that information can be added to their contact profile automatically. So this can be really good for volunteer applications and things like that. I recommend checking out our forms articles. We've got a bunch of them that you would have seen when we did our knowledge base tour. So let's have a look at how to navigate the forms section. I'll bring this up here. And we've got articles that sort of take you through every single aspect of it. You can jump in here to learn how to create a form and how to design your form. But if you're also wanting to know more information about the form types that I just covered and also some examples, you can check out each one's specific article here. So I've got some examples of custom forms that you can use in here. Once you've finished creating your forms and you've published them and they're ready to be shared on your website, I recommend reaching out to your website administrator or the person that you have at your organization who makes changes to your website because you'll need their help. Because what they can do is when you head into your form and jump into the settings tab, they can share these forms directly on your website so that folks can go there and they can access the form. So you have the option of embedding the form, which I think is a best practice. As far as I'm aware, I think the most effective donation forms statistically are forms that are embedded directly in your website. So I think the same goes for all the other types as well. So what your website administrator will need to do is to copy this code from here. They can click that little button and embed this code in your website. So if they're a website administrator and they've been creating or managing your website, or they know a little bit about how to work your website, this will be familiar to them. They'll be able to use that and just embed it directly into the website to make sure it appears. You can also have a button if you like a little donate button that folks can click on and it'll take them to their form. You can embed that code in here as well. If you've already got a donate button on your website and it's hyperlinked to a form, you can simply use this hyperlink here. You can copy it and you can use that as the link on your donate button as well. And folks who click on it will be able to navigate towards that form from there. If you have any questions about this, or if you're wanting to send your website administrator here, just type in sharing, and then sharing your forms is the most relevant search up the top. So it talks through where to find the information that you need to share your form, what all the different sections mean, and just some little tips on how they can get that content updated onto your website. Really important step, this one. So make sure that you sort of get it processed as soon as you can, and try not to move on to the next steps until this one is done.